please don't take anything I say as far as what we're looking for at a manager at this moment in time as any kind of critique at Joe, because it's not. He was the perfect guy for this team at the perfect time. I think everyone who's around the team knows that. And this is about looking forward. Now for the group that we're likely to have at this moment in time and going forward, what are different areas of emphasis that are important for this group at this time? And I don't want to answer too specifically. I know it's a cop-out, but if I get into a long list of specifics, and every managerial candidate that we come in is just going to list every single specific that we said and think they ace the interview process. So, no, I'll start. I mean, look, I think we struggled as an organization this year to make sure that with the Major League team, the whole was as good or better than the sum of the parts. I think we had a lot of good individual performances. We had a lot of talent and ability. I think if we do our job the right way, we're going to have a lot of talent next year. We're going to score a lot of runs. We're going to prevent a lot of runs. We have to, and the next manager has to create an environment that turns that into wins. And that's not solely on the manager at all. That's roster construction and everything else. But that's what we're looking for in a manager is to try to help our group. Any team is looking for that in a manager. Come together and make sure the whole is as good or exceeds the sum of the parts. I think. The next manager will be a success if he can find a way to get the most out of each player. That's an obvious goal, but we want to make sure that, the players that we have, we're reaching them, we're developing them, we're providing an environment where they can continue to grow and thrive. If we have players that are going to be successful Major League players, we have to find a way to make it here. I think that's really important. It's an organization-wide challenge, not just on the manager, but yes, the next manager, that's going to be an important part of his responsibility. Cultivating a winning culture behind the scenes. We've obviously had a winning culture. Joe did an unbelievable job of creating that. Again, at this moment in time, I think it's important for us to pick certain areas of emphasis that will reach this group and help us meet our current challenges, not the challenges that we've had over the last 5 years. So picking priorities and values to emphasize work, I think, is going to be really important. I think for this group at this time, we need to find a way to create a culture and environment that compels every player to push himself to be the absolute best version of himself, to be the very absolute best player that he can be, and that is a culture where that's accepted or expected, rather. That if a player joins our culture, he's lifted up by the culture in terms of the amount of work, the habits, leaving no stone unturned to be the best version of himself that he can be. I think it's important, and Joe, again, was wonderful at this, but it's going to be important for the next manager of this particular group at this time to find a way to foster a team identity. That I think this group, our routines tended to be more individualized. There wasn't a lot of work as a team, and I think it's going to be important for this group that we find time to work as a team, that we find time to assemble as a team, that we find ways to deliver messages to the team so that there can be a greater sense of team identity and purpose for this group. I think that's something that we need. Again, at this moment in time with this group, I think accountability is important. We were pretty mistake prone this year. This is, again, organization-wide challenge, not on the manager, but the next manager should be a part of this, is helping to create a culture of accountability where there's just a sense that, sloppy mistakes, mental mistakes aren't tolerated. And so there's an expected level of focus that we all work together to establish that mitigates the amount of mistakes like that that are made. And a sense of grinding from the first pitch of the season through the end. And, with the last couple of Septembers, we've, I feel like, and this is again, it's on me and on a group, I feel like our team, sometimes we expected to just get it done in September and in the second half, because we always have. But I think the last 2 Septembers have proven that you can't take that approach. You have to find a way to grind from the beginning. It's a challenge. And certainly some years we were better at it than others, and it's not something that falls solely on the manager, but I think that's a unique challenge for the next manager of this group going forward. So those are a lot of attributes. And